time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. Season 2.
See your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors.
Oh no, we all got it wrong.
Well, that was them. That's an edit. They edited that.
Well, I will not stand for this trickery.
It's supposed to be true colours. True colours are beautiful like a rainbow, and they edited one of the true colours out because clearly by that point at the end of the film they decided no, it's be too long if we keep both of those.
We've got to shave off some precious seconds.
Off and running with episode 5 of the worst idea of all time. Our distinct pleasure and honour to welcome back to the fold Mr. James Acaster.
Glutton for punishment, back for more. Can't believe it.
First of all, James, do you want to paint a picture of where we're located in the current situation?
We are in room 83 of the Adina Hotel.
Very specific.
in Melbourne on Queen Street. Well, I am living for a month at the Melbourne Comedy Festival. And, it's been nice welcoming you here to my temporary home.
It's a lovely place you got here. You look exceptionally comfortable. In fact, right now, you're wearing naught but a dressing gown.
Just my blue dressing gown. Got for 2 Christmases ago, this is.
Oh, it's not even a hotel-provided gown.
No, this is mine. I bring this with me in a suitcase when I'm travelling in case...
It's quite a big thing to pack, a dressing gown.
Well, it's a bit thick, isn't it? The fabric's a bit thick, so it's a bit... But I use it to, I wrapped up some speakers in it as well, so it's like dual purpose.
Nice one.
Stop the speakers from getting damaged.
You're
James,
a smart guy.
What'd you think of the movie, mate? Sex and the City 2. We've just watched it for the 5th time. You've watched it for the first?
That's the first time I've ever seen it.
Your thoughts?
I don't know how you're really going to do this one. I think the last one was the last one was really bad, and I thought, this is here to drive you insane. But this one is worse, much worse, and much more confusing, and it's so many conflicting emotions while watching it. Grown Ups 2, you can watch it and just go, well, this is just an awful film. And it's confusing how it got made and stuff like that. And this has all of that as well. But on top of it, there's quite a lot of political issues.
Yeah.
Especially as a man watching it, that you feel, and you start hating yourself at some points. You start I'd say every 10 minutes I'd be outraged, and then I'd think, am I a misogynist?
Talk me through what that train of thought is, how that happens, because that suggests to me, and I know that this isn't correct because you verbalised what was happening as the film was unfolding. That the film has put forth its feminist message loud and clear and effectively, and made you realise that as a proponent and a pusher forward of the paternalistic system that we're working under, that you're to blame. But that's not really what's happening here.
No, but what happens is that it does put forward a feminist message, and because
hear me roar. Sorry, I'm just singing.
The woman's song.
It's just going to be a background noise while you... Yeah.
That seemed very powerful. Scenes like that as well. When she's getting shouted at in the street because she's dropped all the condoms on the floor, and then she's just like, scroll yo! To all those guys and stuff like that. And in isolation, you go, I'm pretty much on side with that, and I agree with the message of that. So it's a good feminist message in a way, but thrown into a film that is appalling, and that the characters are awful in other ways. So the ways that they're awful are not because they're women. It's because they're just materialistic, rich people who are complaining about rich person problems, which the general public can't really relate to.
Moreover, I think it's the idea of these four women wading into the Middle East and wresting back control on behalf of the gender from the Middle East, don't worry, America's here. And we fuck.
Exactly. It's like this movie is the cultural equivalent to when they went in with no exit plan. They just go and invade, and they're like, we're here, we're going to fix everything. It's like, cool. All of our schools have been bombed and we have no electricity. What's the plan? Guys, we've done it, we're out, we'll see you later. Everything's gone swimmingly. Mission accomplished.
And the tragedy that makes them leave is that they have to start paying for stuff. So they go, we can't, I'm
out.
We can't do this, we've got to leave this luxury that we've been living in for ages. We can't actually afford it, so we better go back. That's the tragedy that happens.
And that's America, folks, living on a credit card. At some point, you got to pay the piper, and then that's when you leave Abu Dhabi.
Full of pipers.
I can't get over, and this has been said too much already. It will certainly be said a lot more. I can't get over the length of this film. I can't get over it.
When you guys said to me the film really starts when they're in Abu Dhabi, I couldn't believe you, because it was at the point where they'd only been in New York, and I thought, this is surely the whole film.
No, and an hour had already passed.
I equated it today to the YouTube pre-roll. So there's an hour of pre-roll, and then you get to watch your cat video. But your cat video is not a cat video. It's just a fucking bloated mess.
I mean, you get the impression it's a load of rejected episodes of Sex and the City put into one. So they were going to do a gay wedding episode, so they go, we'll just make that the start of the film.
A karaoke night one.
You don't need any of that in there.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be in there at all.
Yeah. It doesn't actually really relate to anything.
Okay, what if you boil it down, what parts of the movie do you think did need to be in there for it to hold?
Did need to be in there. I think they could have just had it. They could have cut to Abu Dhabi very quickly. Have a 10 minutes, 10 minutes of preamble where you establish what their concerns are in their own relationships or whatever.
And just quickly, while we're diving into this, could you please just rush through the stakes for each individual character?
Yeah, sure. So Samantha, she wants to do a lot of fucking.
Yep,
that's right.
And when she goes to Abu Dhabi, she hasn't got her menopause medication, so she's not going to start to. She's not going to want to fuck as much. So that's difficult for her because she's going to be away for all of a week or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's very hard. There's Carrie is the main character. She, her and her husband, who so they're having problems because he bought her. The main problem is that he bought her a widescreen, flat screen television that pulls out of the wall that they can watch in bed. And she would have rather had some jewellery. So that's the main problem.
You are dead on.
That's made her doubt their relationship. And so and he even suggested that sometimes he goes and spends some time in their second apartment on his own.
It's not a big problem.
That upset her quite a lot.
Well, when you put it like that.
Yeah. So she's worried about their marriage, and if that'll be okay.
Charlotte,
her nanny doesn't wear a bra, and she's worried that means her husband will instantly bang her.
Yes.
So that's
Runkle, the old horn dog.
That's concerning for her. And the Miranda.
Nice.
Doing well.
You are doing well.
Her problem is that she's on her phone too much and too obsessed with work to spend time with her family. A problem which she resolves before going to Abu Dhabi, and so she has no problems. Whatsoever.
She is just genuinely enjoying herself in Abu Dhabi.
There's just no problems for her. She's delved into the culture a bit, and that's it.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, and in that, what were you? At what point were you invested in the characters? Were you like, oh God, I hope they resolve this?
Yeah, at no point, sadly. but because there's, for one, I mean, it's been said many times that men can't write good female characters, and so I would suggest they shouldn't have had a man write all of this. And I'm aware he probably wrote a lot of the very successful TV series.
I think that is the case.
He's a hugely admired screenwriter, but I just felt like there were 4 identical characters apart from one of them like fucking.
Yeah.
That was it. One of them.
And
really
in the TV show,
bang.
I think they all like fucking. So it's just kind of, that just
like
changed up for the movie a little bit.
Right. Yeah, because it just seemed like they were just the same. He didn't make 4 different characters. So, and also none of them, there wasn't ever a point when they were really in danger. There wasn't a point where it's like, I don't think this is going to work out for them.
Yeah.
Like, she kissed a guy.
Yeah.
She should have slept with a guy. If you want to, you want to really make me go, oh God, how's this going to turn out?
Suggesting that the film probably would have been more exciting and the justification for being shot in the Middle East more resonant if they had been kidnapped by Al Qaeda, held to ransom. They're obviously a bunch of rich white American women.
Yeah.
If you're a terrorist organisation operating in the Middle East, that's a prime target.
They're not exactly subtle over there, are they?
Yeah.
They're loud and garish.
You took a lot of issue with the way Carrie dressed herself.
You zoned in on the fashion quite hard, James.
Well, I couldn't believe that she was meant to be a fashion icon for the whole film. Like, she dresses really cool. Here she is, that's her thing. And it was like, it's like a joke from Dumb and Dumber or something. That someone would say they're a fashion icon and then dress like that for the whole film. It's a funny joke. Like, that's a hilarious, over-the-top, not subtle Family Brothers joke. It's not when she wore that crown at the wedding.
The crown is sensational because the line that she says is what does she call the flower thing?
What I don't know. What do you call...
It's like a corsage. She's like, the corsage may say Bradshaw.
But it's the corsage says Preston.
Oh, that's sorry, because that's her married name under Big.
Yes.
She may say Preston, but the hat says, and then pauses. And Guy and I have taken to filling in that blank gap now, because the crown
says Queen of Narnia, evil overlord.
It looks like the undead ruler of Hades or something. It's a black webbed crown. That's kind of like those headbands you see, because it doesn't go fully around.
And I think either one of you two speculated that it was a joke amongst fashion design firms.
Yeah. Just to see if they could
get it over the line.
With it. It looks like creeping death personified on a head.
She's wearing a tux with it. Should we point that out?
And her hair is heavily crimped.
Yeah, and she's going to a wedding. She's going to her friend's wedding wearing that.
She's not just in the congregation, she's on the stage at something.
She's the best
She's in the bridal party.
Because it's a progressive, unconventional wedding.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I find so funny about this as well. The whole movie at the start is just taking this big old smug pat on the back because they're featuring so many gay characters and things. And I was like, when Sex and the City started in the late 90s, that probably was a reasonably progressive thing to do. There wasn't a lot of TV shows that had gay characters and stuff. When did this movie come out?
2010.
Even then, it's just like, holy shit, guys! It's like we're good now. Yeah, we could probably normalize that a little bit.
With your...
You've actually, by being so self-congratulatory, you've become what you hate, and you are now the ones who are making fun of gay culture.
They did plant sort of Mr. Big in the film, who was like speculating he couldn't wrap his head around
very clever.
I'm great.
Nice
I'm great
one,
with
guy.
words.
Very nice.
He was sort of the representation of the old guard. He was the old dinosaur. He couldn't quite wrap his head around the idea of just a gay wedding.
But what's annoying with that whole thing as well, because like the characters, so at one point at the gay wedding, one of the guys who's about to get married says, I'm basically allowed to cheat on him.
Yeah,
and they were like, oh, okay, and they kind of take a while and then they adjust and go, it's fine, let's be open-minded about this.
Yeah.
And later on, Carrie says, oh yeah, my husband and I, we're gonna have it that we can have just 2 days off a week, and everyone, like one of the same characters who was okay with the cheating thing is just like, what? How are you even going to cope with that? You might as well have gone, but you're not gay. You're not gay people who don't understand the actual sanctity of marriage. Gay people can't be... they can't help it. They're gay. They can't help but mess around with people. But you're straight. You should be committed to each other.
That is an interesting inference that I had not picked up in the film before, James.
It's just meant to be okay. Maybe, they're gay, so that it's a new future. We would understand it.
I feel like we're raining opinions that aren't necessarily positive about the film, and that's fair enough. I mean, it's not necessarily a good film, but maybe we could inject some positivity in the form of a shining light.
Oh, something's going on with your mic there, fella. Just unplug that cable and plug it back in. You're wanting to do a shining light. Good little segue into that, guy.
They smell very nice.
The mics?
My mic smells lovely.
This could be the bottom of your nose, because in my experience, these microphones don't smell particularly good.
I like it. It smells new, box fresh.
We're right over here, Tim.
Talking of box fresh, we've been having some fun with a vibrator.
That's right. We're not going to name who it was provided by, but there is a small vibrator on the table here.
Tell you what, boys, for safety, I'm going to come and sit next to you, because I can't actually tell if your mics are working at the moment, which is a weird thing.
How long?
Yeah.
How long has that been the case for?
Oh no, just now. Something's changed, but that's cool. I'll come and sit by yours, and we'll do this.
All right. What a wonderful little interlude in the podcast. People always enjoyed technical difficulties in podcasts.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Lean on him, boys. Let's get in there. Let's get in there nice and deep.
Me in my dressing gown.
Yeah.
Is there a guy holding a vibrator?
like a cigar?
Like a cigar between his fingers.
But I would like
to give any context as to why there's a vibrator in the situation now?
Durex are trying to sell products.
Yeah.
It's a nifty little pocket vibrator.
You can probably put the mics down if you want, guys. I don't think they're working.
Truly.
Durex sent. We should point out they sent the vibrator to Guy and my girlfriend Rose, but not separately, as if you were a couple.
Yeah.
In an Easter egg. So there's an Easter egg with a vibrator in it, and it's like sexy Easter, and it's meant to be like.
To be fair,
two platonic friends.
The letter that accompanied it very much insinuated you would be using that together as well. So,
Rose and I have discussed that we're going to be using a sort of timeshare system where, week on, week off, we were talking about the ease with which you could clean this particular vibrator, run it under some hot water, probably boiling hot.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard a lot from you two, but I want to hear what the vibrator has to say about the matter, to be honest.
That's great.
That's power.
That's
It's
a
a
great
magic bullet, I think, if you're wondering what kind of vibrator it is. We're not holding a massive vibrator. It's a little
It's a
magic
little one.
bullet.
Little dinky guy.
oral
So,
gag.
Clitoral stimulation, mate.
Presumably. It's not the
Shining
sort of
light.
vibrator you'd put the whole way in, is it? Just a little tickle.
Yeah.
A dabble. They should call it that. The Durex dabble.
I'd call it the cliticular.
Nice.
Oh, nice one,
I
mate.
feel like you got that from somewhere. I feel like that's not a
I think it's
Montgomery
just
original.
a bit of like, you know, watching Sex in the City, just some subliminal stuff goes in,
Well,
and
I
you
mean,
come
it-
up with stuff like that.
With nothing else, it probably teaches you how to advertise, which
Yeah,
I seem to be
there's a
obsessed
lot
with
of that in
doing.
there.
So back to the Shining Light, James. I get the feeling you didn't particularly enjoy the viewing experience.
I hated it. It's horrible.
What was your takeaway? At what point did you laugh, or did you enjoy yourself and think, you know what, that's not bad?
At what point did I laugh and think that's not bad? Oh God, that's very difficult, guy. Very difficult with this one. I think, I don't know, because like there was the bits that were just so unnecessary that I laughed, like Liza Minnelli singing all the single ladies at the wedding. That just made me laugh, and I liked seeing that, but I didn't like it. I thought it was an awful addition and shouldn't have been in the film.
That was my Shining Light in the first week.
Right, yeah, so it's like probably the only thing you can really hold on to the first time you see it. I think there's definitely a line or two, maybe the Jude Law joke.
Oh wow, you are scrambling, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because I know you didn't like it.
No,
you just remember it is what's happening here.
I didn't really like it, no, not at all.
You went to the trouble of explaining that you don't think it necessarily works as a joke.
It doesn't really work as a joke.
Which you felt the same way about the camel toe bit as well. When
Look, the camel toe
Charlotte
joke
falls off a
I can,
camel,
I can allow
gets
the camel toe joke. It's when Miranda says she's having herself a little sandwich.
Oh yeah, that's
Now,
right.
like,
That's your issue.
I think the functioning part of the joke is meant to be about the food of a sandwich. Like,
Which is wholly
so
separated
it's-
from the. No one's eating. They're on camels. No one's eating anything.
and then the other iteration, which you've tried to explain to me when you were sticking up for the joke in conversation, is sandwich.
Yeah, it's like a wedgie.
She's wedged her
Yes.
from the sand.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But I don't get. There's no. I mean, you're a good comedian, James. Can you maybe explain what I'm missing here?
No, you don't understand anything. Yeah, basically, the reason why the joke works on some level is because she's in the sand and her trousers and pants are wedged in her vagina. But at no point is there any kind of anything to do with food. So really, to make the joke work properly, you have to have it that sandwiches are relevant to the situation.
yeah, exactly. Someone should be eating a sandwich.
Well, yeah, it would have to be Charlotte would have had to been eating a
So
sandwich.
let's say they were going out to the desert for a picnic.
yeah,
And that was the main reason for them going. And they went, we're about to have, well, we haven't even started the picnic and you already got yourself a sandwich.
Nice.
But that's I guess
funny.
that's what they're getting.
That's
at.
kind
They
of
didn't
funny.
spell it out enough because they are in the camels. Remember, they go out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're going for lunch.
They're going for lunch.
So they could have
So-
made that joke.
Could have said that. Could have said the thing. The camel toe thing is like, it could have been like, instead of saying you got a camel toe from a camel or whatever it was they said, doesn't make sense. No, a real camel toe.
That's what they say. Yeah.
They should have said camel toe.
Yes.
And then she should have looked at the camel's feet, and then they were like, no, camel toe.
You should have
At least
consulted
do
on
the
this
joke.
film,
If you've got
James.
camels there and someone's got a camel toe,
Well,
you do that joke, don't you?
you would. You were riffing out some other good ideas. You had a great line that Samantha missed. Who's
Yeah.
usually, she's so quick with words and she's a sassy cat.
Yeah.
What was that one?
It was gonna go and see some souks, I think. And they do something to do with souks, and one of them said, we can go down.
Do you
there.
like it? Was like, do you like it or?
We can souks or something like that. And Samantha should have said, I souk, I can souk or something like that.
I love
I love
souking.
to souk.
I'm glad we went into that, guys. There was big.
Are you?
Big
Was
payoff.
the payoff good for
Well,
you?
if you
Yeah.
remembered what the original line was, it would have been better. But it was basically a pun on sucking. That was, I mean, the setup to it was there.
Yeah.
She said,
souk is
we
a-
can souk. I think she said, we can souk. And I think she should have said, I can souk all the time.
Yeah, there
And
you
they
go.
did a mime of
That kind of
blowjobs.
sexy thing.
Yeah.
Could have used more mind blowjobs. I thought that too. Actually, I think that every week. Tim, what was your shining light?
My shining light was the fact that Aiden it really does sound like he's named his kids after a country band. Like, that was his vision, that was his dream. It's always been his dream to form a family travelling country band. And I think there's something quite cool about that. You know,
a better film in that. Is that what you're saying? Mate?
Well, there's I'm not. I am absolutely saying that. First off, there's something very funny about parents who try to live vicariously through their children, but something even more funny about a thread which they haven't ever pursued themselves in their own life, that they decide later in adulthood that they're going to throw their children into. And how more forcefully can you do it than naming your children in a scheme that would naturally add up to a travelling family country band?
So you think that there's something more sinister behind Carrie's observation? Like, he's got a plan, he's implementing.
Yeah, but I don't think it's sinister. I find it hilarious.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah. What's your shining light, Guy?
I'm much in the same situation as James, and that I don't have one, and I'm just scrambling.
You were struggling very much during this. I mean, you both struggled quite a bit. When Tim was struggling, he relieved it by looking out the window for like 5 seconds. And at one point, when I arrived in this hotel about a week ago, there's this dish of nuts and dried fruit, and I dared him to eat a fig that had been there for a week, so he did it. That was how you got through the film.
And it was not a good fig.
It was horrible.
It was a horrible fig, and it still had some of the stalk in it that I had to spit out. What kind of rookie hotel are you living in here, mate?
It's a classy hotel. My shining light, just for the gosh darn sport of it, is going to be the abs on the Australian rugby team after their sweaty practice match.
All right, let's drill in.
Phenomenal bodies. I think we can all agree on that.
Let's get
something
in.
A goal, something to work towards.
Fucking abs.
Jesus,
You're
it's such a bleak shining light.
We had a discussion, I think, not on mic, but during the movie last time, Guy, about the fact that the setup to that doesn't make any sense. The fact that the rugby teams are there, because the way that they're introduced at the pool is one of the people who works at the hotel says, "Oh, they're here for the what is it? It's like the warm up for the Rugby World Cup."
Yeah, there's some sort of Rugby World Cup warm up tournament taking place in Abu Dhabi, and if it's a qualifier, that's fine. But they've got in like the best teams in the world who have presumably already qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah,
it is just it is insanity. Pick a sport that would make some semblance of sense. And secondly, I mean, if it's Abu Dhabi, there must be hotels all over the place. You wouldn't put every single team who are competing against one another in one hotel. That's asking for trouble.
That's I reckon they should start doing that, though. That's awesome.
You like that as a wrinkle?
Yeah, I really do. They should start doing that in
sports
sports generally. They should put all the teams in the same hotel and just see what happens.
They should room players from opposing teams together. Introduce a psychological element to the...
This sounds like something Big Brother would do if they got their hands on a franchise.
They could even do it so that the arrangement of the rooms is the same as the scrum, so that they're all like, what position you are in the scrum is what room you're in against each other, so across from each other in the hall, so that when they have to go out into the corridor in the morning, they just lock immediately into a scrum.
It's becoming quite physical as well as mental.
It almost brings up visions of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers when they all combine to form a greater unit. That's kind of the visual I'm getting from that.
That's one of the many things this film was missing, was a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers moment.
There's any number.
Sorry about all the weird noise that's going on, folks. I'm trying to improvise with the microphone's not working, so I'm just trying to shed some weight.
It's become
dropping weight like a spacecraft.
It's become a pretty streamlined setup here. We've gone from each having an individual handheld mic and Tim on the Tascam to Tim holding the Tascam with his maroon beanie sitting atop it and no cords coming out of it anymore.
Yeah, it's operating like a pop shield.
We do. Now. If anyone watching now, we are three men talking into a hat. That is all that is happening. Doing a little pretend.
I like to think that Tim's not recording and this is a weird little social experiment he's running for himself.
I wanted to see how long I can get you guys talking into that before the absurdity of the situation gets the better of you.
Now, James, this is something we did with you when you guest host with us on the first season. Wherein Tim and I are studio executives.
Yeah,
we're looking to make a film.
Yeah,
you have an idea that you've brought into our office.
Yeah,
the idea is Sex and the City 2.
Yeah,
could you please sell us this film?
Well, yeah. I should say before I do it though, this is how I think they genuinely pitched it, and I think that the original. I don't think the final film was the original idea, and that the person pitching it saw the doubt in people's eyes and kept on adding ideas as they went along. So they went in and went.
So what are you? So sorry. What are you going to pitch? Are you going to pitch what we saw, or are you going to pitch the
do
original?
the pitch that they did.
Okay, cool.
This is a recreation
This
of
is the
what
pitch
happened.
that they did, and you'll be able to tell from the pitch when the board are looking like they do not like the film.
Here we go.
All right.
Hello, come in.
Come in, please.
Hey guys, great new, exciting opportunity for you. Brilliant feature film. This is going to be a blockbuster. No brainer.
We get a lot of these offers coming across our table, James. We don't have much time. Please tell us what you're talking about.
Do you remember Sex and the City?
Oh yeah, my girlfriend made me watch that. Yeah, bloody atrocious.
Oh, well, she loved it, right?
She loved it,
and so many people love it. I think it's sequel time. Sex and the City 2. Okay, it's gonna. Okay, no, hear me out. It's gonna be.
Wow.
Here's the idea for the film, right? Remember, there's gay characters in it.
Yes.
It's a gay wedding. Is the film?
Okay.
And it's a gay wedding. Joe, what? That's just the start.
Okay.
Liza Minnelli is there.
Yeah.
At the wedding.
I'm not getting a lot of.
And
Well, I mean, these are just sort of scattershot ideas. What we need is
this is the intro. So it's I believe just the first half hour of the film is the gay wedding. Right?
Okay.
And so gay wedding that sets up the characters. Right. That wasn't going to be the whole thing. So after that, and then like. They're all having problems, right? And like the main drive of the film is that Miranda's having a problem with her marriage. She's too busy with work, and
Okay.
she just
I can relate to
keeps
that.
on checking her phone and neglecting her kid, and then she eventually
no.
goes to the science fair at the end of the film.
I'm sorry. Okay, you're just kind of throwing more
Could go to
words
the
in
science
So
science
the whole
fair.
film
Okay.
is they go to a wedding and then Miranda watches a child at a sign. This is not.
No, that's not the whole film. No. So she does that, and meanwhile, one of the one who sleeps with people, right? So she slept with a movie star.
You're talking about Samantha.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Samantha, I forgot your girlfriend made you watch it.
Yeah.
Samantha invites them all to Abu Dhabi.
Well, I'm terribly sorry. You're going to have this.
Sorry, so we were at a science fair a moment ago.
Yep.
We're going to Abu Dhabi. This is
Yes.
one film?
It kind of feels like you're all over the shop right now.
No.
James.
That stuff was like to get to know the characters at the wedding and the science fair, and now it's Abu Dhabi's the main film. That's the main film.
Why are we going to Abu Dhabi?
Because of women's rights. And 4 main characters are women, and so you want to fish out of water. You want to get them somewhere where it's like people aren't okay with it. So we want to put them there where there's like burqas and accents and stuff, and we'll send them there. And while they're there, one of them will not have sex much, and she'll want to a lot actually.
Oh.
And one of them will kiss a man, that's a big. And she's married, so that's a big no, and probably an irreversible. I mean, how's she going to get out of that? Probably not by a swift apology. And then they can't stay because they can't afford it, and then they go home, and then they've got to everything. Joe, I'm thinking that when they get home, we should just resolve everything in one montage, and then we'll end the film.
Okay. I like the end. The
Yes.
montage.
Yes.
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 I feel like we have the bones of something here.
Okay. Sweeten the deal before we stop? Before you say no? Sweeten the deal. There is a woman wearing no bra, and we get a t-shirt wet at one point.
Okay, well...
Can you see nipples?
Yes.
Well, I think we've got our movie.
I think
clearly.
James, thank you so much for coming in, bringing this fantastic idea for a film.
Thank you for having me.
How much money are you going to need for this?
A lot of... let's not talk about that right now.
Okay, and what sort of runtime are we talking? How long do you foresee this film being?
About 5 hours.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay, because Ben-Hur was only 4 from memory.
Yeah, well, Ben-Hur didn't tackle as many issues. We've got gay marriage, got women's rights in the Middle East.
This is going to be great for our production. We're going to look like heroes.
Yeah, you got a lot of things that we're dealing with here. All equal rights across the board.
I mean, do you foresee any circumstance in which this movie could maybe be poorly received or go off the rails and become offensive?
Only by misogynists. Only people who will not like this as a misogynist. What we do is we put scenes in there that strongly have a strong feminist message, so that people feel that they can't fully have a go at it.
So that's brilliant. Way to
It's
safeguard.
It's like an insurance policy for the movie against critics. This is This is great.
It's a new kind of filmmaking I'm pioneering now, where if we make a really bad film, we put 2 scenes in there that have actually got quite a good political message in there.
Yeah, and it
And then
insulates the rest of the film.
That kind of means like, back off. I know we just said all this stuff, but we're also saying this.
You can have a big career in this business, kid.
Thank you very much.
That was bloody brilliant.
That was excellent.
And we get a man to write it.
And I actually, I think that genre of filmmaking, there's a lot to be said for that. Make something abhorrent, but insert 2 throwaway lines of genuine kind of justice, or you know, like social justice, or just good ethical messages, and then you've insulated the rest of your film from critique.
You go, oh, I agree with that, but then that they didn't write the song "I Am Woman."
Well, no,
That's
but
the
they
thing.
performed it, James,
Yeah, but
and that's as good as. That's almost the same thing.
You take something actually, you know, quite admirable that someone else has done, and you just put that in your piece of shit.
It's been a hell of a journey with you here today. I know that you said right quite early on, you said, I don't know how you guys are going to do this.
No.
And I would like to echo that feeling. I don't know how we're going to do this.
We've got to play through our one feature.
Oh yeah, of course.
I never want to see that film again.
Well, the good news for you, James, is you don't have to.
I just don't know how you're going to watch it even again. I mean,
you
5
like.
times.
I remember watching Grown Ups 2 with you, and you were sort of you survived fine. You got through it. You were like this. At some point, this movie broke you, and you threw your arms in despair. Like that was one viewing.
Yeah, one viewing. I was part of throwing my arms in despair was going, I can't imagine having to watch it every week. I don't know how you can do it.
I ran the sums. Every sitting for the podcast and record is an equivalent of 10% of a 40-hour working week. And we still haven't monetized this operation, so I don't know what the fuck we're doing, Tim.
We're throwing money down a well and our sanity closely behind it. But we can't talk about that right now because it's time for
What's He Doing? Where's He Off To? We've got
to nail that name, don't we?
We'll get it right one week. So we pointed out to you, James.
Yeah.
There's a featured extra in the film who is a real scene stealer. He's a real go-getter. I haven't looked up the IMDb page, but I'm presuming
he won't be credited.
He will be. He'll be called like Caffeine Overlord or something.
No, we've named him that. We've given him that.
What do you think demanded this level of urgency and caffeine from this character in this film?
What's he off to do?
I think. Well, I for one, I don't think he's drinking that much. I think this is a man who has forgotten he's finished his coffee.
Every second.
Yeah. So like, I just think he keeps on going like, I'd have no, there's none in there, and then I'd go for it. Oh, fuck, there's no coffee in there at all. And then eventually, he's like, well, I've had to get out of this cafe before I keep on trying to drink that empty mug of coffee. That is, I feel like an idiot. And he's just leaving, so he stops, embarrassing himself in front of everyone.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
That's it from us this week.
Another quick shout out that we're in Melbourne, so Google Guy Montgomery's name, which is said Guy Montgomery.
Please come along to my show. It's called Rosemary Faye and Guy Montgomery are Friends. In it, we will be showing you exciting new ways to use this vibrator provided to us by Durex. James, you also got a show?
I have. It's at 9:45 at the Town Hall. It's called James Acaster.
I love these plugs will apply to almost no one.
Yeah.
That's what I like about them. That's what I love about podcasts.
Yeah.
No one.
No one is going to be.
No, there'll be someone in Melbourne who will
find someone in Melbourne, tell them to Google our names and Melbourne Festival.
But then I guess anyone who's in
up.
Melbourne who's listening to your podcast is already fans and will be coming anyway.
Yeah, and we've been hanging out with them. Brian, shout out to Brian.
We were bloody on the lash gently with Brian last night.
Woo. He's a great guy. Great guy. He came through like 40
Brian
of the podcasts in 1 week earlier this year to catch up on last
Not
season.
healthy, Brian. We're worried about you.
Not good for you, but you're a nice man. We'll catch you around. So we'll see you next time on The Worst Idea of All Time, where we gear up to watch Sex and the City 2 for the 6th time. My name is Tim Batt.
My name is James Acaster.
My name is Guy Montgomery. Analyze your life decisions.
Worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time. It's the worst idea of all time.